Hello everyone, and welcome to my EastEnders Media News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tuesday night's action on EastEnders was intense as Bianca Jackson confronted Lauren Branning and Zack Hudson over their shocking betrayal of Whitney Dean. As viewers may remember, Whitney recently went to Milton Keynes to see her stepmother Bianca, which introduced her to problematic youngster Brittany. In order to allow the child's mother to care for her, Whitney ultimately paid her off, while pretending to have adopted the teen with social services informed. Last week, Zack, her partner, found out the truth, and he was incensed. After a heated argument over it and their future, Whitney, who was pregnant at the time, admitted that she would always pick Brittany over him. Zack experienced feelings of being ignored, marginalized, and unimportant, which Whitney did not exactly refute. Additionally, Whitney lost her cool with her friend Lauren, who she thought had told Zack the truth when, in reality, it was Brittany. After calling Whitney out on her lies, Zack and Lauren went out together to blow off some steam. Whitney was left thinking back on how she had treated Zack. Brittany wondered if Zack was leaving after being reassured that she was still family, but Whitney insisted that he wasn't, obviously eager to make amends. However, the scene reverted to Lauren and Zack kissing passionately in an alleyway. When Bianca got back to Albert Square on Monday's episode, Zack unintentionally told her that he had cheated on Whitney with Lauren. During Tuesday night's episode, Bianca became enraged and even smacked cheaters Zack and Lauren after learning they had slept together behind Whitney's back. Viewers quickly reacted to the scenes on Twitter, now X, pointing out a forgotten link between Bianca and Lauren, pointing out that they are actually first cousins because Max Branning is Bianca's uncle. Not Bianca slapping Lauren, has she forgotten that Lauren's her actual cousin #EastEnders, read one comment. Wait, I just realized Bianca and Lauren are cousins as well #EastEnders, read another. #EastEnders Bianca stuck in the middle of her stepdaughter and cousin, wrote another. Now that Bianca is aware of the truth, will she tell Whitney in another scene, which will result in Lauren and Zack's demise? Or maybe someone overheard the exchange and will reveal the truth. When Bianca Jackson learned Whitney Dean had been duped, she retaliated violently upon returning to Walford. Patsy Palmer, who plays the character Whitney, made her way to Albert Square earlier this week after Whitney, Shona McGarty, paid a quick visit to her adoptive mother's Milton Keynes house. The BBC serial opera Whitney's departure is currently taking place. She has been lying to her boyfriend Zack Hudson, James Farrar, about giving Bianca's neighbor a substantial sum of money in exchange for Brittany, her neglected daughter. Zack spent the night with Lauren Branning, Jacqueline Jossa, after learning the truth and Whitney saying she would rather have Brittany than him. When Bianca learned of Zack's adultery, she naturally lost it and became enraged. Bianca gave Zack and Lauren back-to-back slaps in the center of the square, in a scene straight out of an EastEnders episode. When Bianca defended Whitney, BBC viewers were ecstatic. One wrote, "I love it when someone does a double slap. Bianca, go for it. #EastEnders." Someone more commented, "Not Bianca slapping people her first night back, ugh, #EastEnders," and someone else said, "Bianca with the 1-2 punch. #EastEnders." Another person commented, "The way Bianca just slaps Lauren, then backslaps Zack. Such classic EE, I love it, #EastEnders." Someone else posted, #EastEnders bravo, Bianca. I didn't like Zack for what they did to poor Whitney, betraying her in such a way, and I thought it was great that the disgusting, hypocritical Lauren got smacked. Lauren frequently portrays herself as the victim of betrayals by others, but she actually betrays her best friend. Recently, Shona gave an explanation for her decision to leave EastEnders after 16 years. As part of a Butcher/Jackson clan revival, Whitney's character was first introduced. Over the years, the actress has faced with some extremely difficult situations, such as sexual abuse, stalking, and the murder of her infant. It was a really difficult decision because that's all I've ever known, Shona said. I feel like I'm leaving home because I spent my entire childhood living on the square. But as you get older, you realize that life is really short, so I had to pull up my big girl pants and bravery. I want to investigate more opportunities and sectors of the industry before I become too old. Everything has an end, and this is the beginning of a new chapter in my life. That was a big decision, but once I made it, I was quite resolute that this was something I had to do, she said to The Sun. Really, 16 years is great. Whitney needs a vacation, and I've had a great run. Spoilers for Monday's, April 29th, episode of EastEnders, which hasn't yet broadcast on BBC One, are below. Bianca Jackson of EastEnders will become enraged upon discovering Zack and Lauren's significant treachery. After being saddened to learn that he had been misled about Brittany's foster situation, Zack cheated on his partner Whitney Dean with her closest friend Lauren last week. In Monday's episode, April 29th, which you can watch on BBC iPlayer right now, Lauren and a guilty Zack met nervously to talk about what to do next. Zack was more nervous than Lauren, who was certain they had to tell Whitney the truth, especially after Whitney sincerely apologized to him for some of her hurtful remarks from the previous day. Zack knew he had to tell Whitney the truth, so he went to the Vic and was ready to spill the beans. Wida, a mother, interrupted them, though, as she was meeting Whitney to discuss her son's Usher syndrome experience. Zack left the conference swiftly after feeling overpowered and was approached by Bianca, who wasn't pleased with his previous actions. Zack lost it when Bianca brought up his past infidelity as she chastised him for not being more there for Whitney. Zack made a mistake and mentioned his night with Lauren, thinking Bianca knew the truth. This shocked Bianca. In a furious outburst on Tuesday's, April 30th, program, Bianca will target both Lauren and Zack, as seen in recently released photos. The crucial query is, though, will Bianca inform Whitney? Spoilers for EastEnders. George arrives for the service with numerous bruises and eventually passes out and collapses. In order to force George to the hospital, Cindy and Phil intervene. And what do you know? George finds out about his severe brain injury from all of his head injuries and boxing injuries. The man might absolutely die from one more blow to the head. Wow, what a surprise. According to teasers for EastEnders, Elaine and the girls are understandably incensed that George has been keeping his battles hidden from them. Cindy subsequently finds George with Rufus, despite George's earlier promises to cease. The man requests for another fight and provides George the money from the last one. Is George going to be tempted to fight Rufus once more? Listen in to learn more.